Hey everybody, it's Andrew Farquhar here for the Snackable Marketing Podcast. For today's topic, I'll be discussing the broad essentials of what makes for a good website. In the last episode, I talked about the importance of marketing funnels and the types of videos that go with each level of the funnel. If you missed that recording, you should definitely go check it out since it shows how to incorporate videos into your marketing funnels, and videos are super powerful, so you definitely want to do that. So what makes for a good website? Well, first of all, there's a lot that goes into a website, and I mean a lot. From call to actions, headers, to blogs, videos, and contact information, there's tons of features and content that can be used to create an effective website. And not to mention an enormous amount of strategy for the good ones. That being said, there's some key broad features that every website needs, and I'll be discussing those today. There's some great infographics on Pinterest that show a much more granular level of specific features a website could have. So you go check those out to help fill in some of the gaps. But you don't want to use all of the features they list because they list practically every single feature a website could have. And that would be too much. So the first essential feature is strategy and defining your goals. It's not really exactly a feature, but it will drive everything that happens on your website. This is really critical to the success of any project, but especially true for websites. Make sure you know exactly what you want to achieve and what success looks like. Once you have that defined, you can begin to create a strategy that will lead towards those goals. There's a lot of different businesses out there, and each is unique in its own way, but they all require defined goals and a sound strategy. Look to define incremental and large goals, like your target audience, their pain points, and how you can connect with them. Once you have those goals defined, you can then start to use elements on your website to achieve them. Part of your overall strategy will probably be to connect with your audience, and a great way to do that is through social media. Everyone's on it, and that definitely includes your target audience. So make sure you have social media accounts created and that you're active on them. Don't just make it and then let them sit there. Then link those to your website and your website to the accounts. Then you can send people from one account to another and from the accounts to your website and back and forth. And also be sure to include easy share and like buttons so people can share your content with their network and drive more traffic to your website and your business. Part of the goal is to persuade people to choose your brand over another, and social proof is a big part of that. And that's why it's not just about social media, but it's about being social, connecting with people and proving that you're a legitimate business. So how do you do that? Social proof is how you do it. So how many likes, followers, and shares you have does matter. They act as proof from others that your brand is legitimate. So include logos of brands you've worked with and testimonials on your website. To really take this a step further, use video testimonials of your happy clients on your website and share them on social media. Remember, it's not just social media, but being social in a broad sense, and including that in your overall strategy. The next key to having a good and effective website is being clear and obvious. This is a broad topic, I know, but due to the amount of content you can put on a website, it's impossible to say which pieces you'll need. That's why focusing on keeping your pages and site clear and obvious is critical. It doesn't matter if the website's huge and complex or just a single page site. Every site needs to ensure it isn't cluttered. Use white space and make sure the main objective of everything is obvious and easy to see. For instance, what do? Make sure that's immediately clear. Or maybe you want to use a call to action, which is great, but make sure it isn't cluttered with other content around it and that it's compelling. Always clear and obvious for everything. Our attention spans are incredibly short when we're online, and this means you have only a couple seconds before the visitor moves on. So if there's a lot of content on the page, they're going to get lost and they're going to abandon it. And taking this idea a step further is why marketing funnels are used. They act as a story or a little journey that the visitor takes, and in it, each step only takes a few seconds, so they never get bored or frustrated. They're constantly moving. They're just moving down a path you want them to take. And using this kind of methodology, you can get people to go down many steps through a long funnel if it's properly constructed. So keep it clear and obvious. Don't crowd things, and make sure everything has a purpose, and you structure your content and pages in a way that leads people from one piece to another and ultimately to conversion. Speaking of content and having it be clear and obvious, the next one is high quality content. Even if your site is clear, it's not cluttered, and everything's obvious, what you do, what you want people to do next, if the content is poor, the clear and obvious kind of doesn't matter anymore. People are going to immediately judge your site and probably bounce off of it. So that's kind of why people often refer to content as being king when it comes to digital marketing. Make sure you're using only the best images, copy, videos, and graphics because they're representing your brand online. Nothing will turn off your visitors faster than poor quality content. Besides the content required to showcase your brand's pages, include a blog on your site and add excellent content to it regularly. You can then use this content to promote your brand on social media and networks. And it will also significantly boost your SEO and just bring more and more traffic to your site. So investing in high quality content is one of the most important aspects of what makes for a good website. So now the last aspect of what makes for a good website is including basic contact information. You'd be surprised how many sites don't have this. It's one thing if you're Google and you don't really want people to contact you, but most businesses, especially small businesses, definitely want their visitors to contact them. So be sure to include contact information and a contact form. This way people have a number of options they can use to contact you. Don't force them to fill out a long and complex form right away. They'll turn and run. Instead, allow them to contact you and then suggest they complete the form so they can get benefits A, B, and C. Once you've talked with them, they'll be much more likely to invest the time needed to fill out a long form or questionnaire. Besides contact form, include anything pertinent like email, phone, address, hours of operation, and be sure never to use your own personal contact information. Only use your business's. You don't want people calling your cell phone in the middle of the night. And besides having specific pages for this contact information, you can also put it in the footer of your pages. So those are 5 broad but essential aspects pretty much every website needs in order to be successful. Websites are powerful and act as a central hub for your business online. Basically, all roads lead to your website. So investing in these broad aspects will always pay off in the long run. Thanks for listening, and I hope you found this episode helpful. If you did, please share it with your network and definitely connect with me on LinkedIn or Twitter. I post tons of valuable content on Twitter from all kinds of awesome marketers and web developers. So if you're looking for content, that's definitely a place to check out. In the next episode, I'll be discussing social media for small businesses, and I hope you'll join me for that one. We went over social media a little bit today, but I'll be going over it in more detail for the next episode. So until next time, thanks again for listening, and I'm Andrew Farquhar for the Snackable Marketing Podcast.